Welcome, everybody. I'm glad you came. We have a real exciting day today. We've only been talking about this project for, 2.5 years, and we're finally coming to where we're going to start moving some dirt. The committee that was putting this all together asked me, what do you want to do for the groundbreaking? And I said, well, I would prefer to see a track hoe digging a foundation rather than a bunch of elected officials with shovels moving dirt, but I'll take what I can get. So Sullivan Cozart had a track hoe delivered. And if you want to hang around afterwards, you'll get a treat because I'm going to be driving. No, I'm kidding. This whole thing started, like I say, about 2.5 years ago. Craig Butold, who was the retired executive director for the Library Foundation, met with Bernie and I and wanted to talk about redoing the library. He had some money that was found money, and he wanted to, paint the walls, and put up new curtains, and fix the floor. And we said, well, isn't that tantamount to putting lipstick on a pig? And he kind of was taken back by that. I don't understand, but our problem is not the color of the walls. The problem was the space. And for those of you who don't know, this library branch is the #1 busiest branch in the entire system. There's more transactions. There's more transaction done at this library than any other. And if you look at the historical aspect of this, the reason it's named the St. Matthews Eline branch is because after the war, World War II, or maybe Korea, I'm not sure, but the Eline family donated both land and building to create a library in St. Matthews. It was a little brick building right over here off Browns Lane, and it stood for decades and served the city and all of our residents and regional residents. Well, when we bought this building, it used to be Great House School. Then it became the offices for Future Federal Savings and Loan. And they knew more than we knew, because shortly after we bought it, the RTC, Resolution Trust Corporation, which is a federal agency, came in and tore up our lease, and so we had no tenants. So we decided it's time to move City Hall from over on Thurman Lane. We brought all of our offices, the police. We were going to bring the library, the Historical Society, the Business Association, and we were going to house them all in this building. It worked great. We told the library, think big. Think as big as you can think, because, we're going into a new space. We'll design it to fit your needs. And they did, and so 25 or so years ago, we moved into this building. And I'm sure a lot of the librarians and employees of the library thought, they'll never fill this. It'll never, it's just going to be a big box of empty space. Well, today you can't hardly get in. On some days, this parking lot is so full you can't even find a place to park. Mothers with children come over here. They have programs for kids, and it's really a terrific, terrific library, and it deserves its better space than it is. So, when Craig Butold came in and wanted to paint the walls, we said, let's think bigger. And so Matt, the architect for the library, came up with a plan and showed Angela Lee and Bill, and they were impressed. And so they went and talked to the other Metro Council people. I talked to Mayor Fisher. He seemed to be he was on board, didn't seem to be. And it eventually passed the Metro Council, except for one vote. So what they're going to do is they're going to donate $1 million toward this project. At the time, At the time, it was a $3.5 million project. Of course, that was just for the building addition. By the time we redo the whole campus and all the parts of City Hall, it's now a $10 million project. But the $1 million from Metro is really going to come in handy. So anyway, we've been planning on this and working to make the nicest facility that we can provide. And so those are the 3 locations that the library's been, and I guess you can say this is the 4th since we're actually adding on. Real excited about it. Would have loved to have seen it, us cutting the ribbon today rather than the groundbreaking, but it is. I do have some people that I would really like to thank. First of all, I'd like to thank Greg Fisher, Mayor of Metro Louisville, Angela Leet, and Bill Hollander. I know 2 of you are here today. Would you all just raise your hand or something? We've had some terrific library personnel over the time. Susan Irving, stand up, please. Susan, who is retired now, is a top drawer librarian who was very big part of the reason why this library has been so successful. When she retired, we got a young librarian named Dustin Strong. Dustin was a young, energetic guy who when we met upstairs, he was in that first meeting. He was so excited. He was like a little kid at Christmas. I just really was excited for him that this project was going. Unfortunately, he was killed in an accident where he had a fall. So we want to recognize Dustin today too, because he was part of this. I also want to recognize Craig Butode, who's no longer with the library. He was some of the first conversations we had. Jim Blanton, who is the executive director of the library today. Funny story about Jim, he was just appointed executive director of the library, and he came here for a visit, and I walked up to him and I asked him what he thought about if we did this project, and kind of knocked him off his feet a little bit. He really didn't know what to say. But he's been great and a big part of this going forward. Kelly Brothers, who is the current head librarian here. She's here. There she is. She's been great. And all the people, friends of the library, all the people who work for the library have just really, they're all excited, as am I. So here we go. Part of the design team for the library, Matt Frazier, he retired right before we did all this. Doug Foster is his replacement. Doug, back there. We hired Studio Kramer to be the architects for this. The head guy on this project, it was Stephen Ward. Stephen, are you here?
He couldn't make it today.
Okay. Well, in his place, I don't remember your
Scott
Kramer from Studio Kramer. But oh, sorry, Richard Hart, Amanda Finnerman, Anna Finnerman. I'm sorry. That's why I have this list. And all the people from CMTA, Carmen, Slesser Engineering, Swope Design, all those people did a great job in pulling it all together. So I really want to thank those people. We've hired Sullivan Cozart to be our construction managers. Ryan Downs and Brian Ashby. Brian's going to be the on-site guy, and the project manager is Ryan Downs. So they're going to be, they're here somewhere. But from St. Matthews, I really want to thank the City Council. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here today. They appropriated the money. I mean, that's we're going to inconvenience a lot of people. The library people who come to the library, city hall officials, police officers. We're going to redo the whole inside of the building. So I want to apologize to them for any inconvenience we're going to have on them. I want to hope the neighbors are inconvenienced very little. We're going to try to do our best to keep the roads clean, keep all any problems in the neighborhood down while this is going on. It's bound to have some effect, but we're going to do our best to do very little. I also want to thank Jim Birch, who is our city engineer, and Keenan, stand up, please. Keenan is our Public Works Director. Keenan has, among all the other things he does all day long, he's been the person who's represented the city of St. Matthews in this project, and he's done a great job. That's all I have. So I'd like to call up Mayor Greg Fisher so he can say some words. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, and good afternoon to everybody on this wonderful fall day here today. It's been a great, really, several months here in our city. This past week's been phenomenal, too, with just lots of amazing announcements going on, and they all have one thing in common, and that is there's just a lot of partnerships taking place around the city right now to get things done. Earlier this week, we announced the Google Fiber first home connection in the city after 5 years of hard work with them and all kinds of people in the community being involved with that. Our Convention and Visitors Bureau had a big announcement this week for the entire city with the topping off the Kentucky International Convention Center. They'll be open next August, and we have about 25 hotels now under construction in the city as a result of both the expanding convention center and Bourbonism. Bourbonism is hot for us. We're just at the very beginning of what that's going to be. We had 24 million tourist visits last year, so there's an awful lot of things going on in that area as well. Then when you take a look in the western part of the city, the Russell Neighborhood Choice Neighborhood Grant will be converting Russell Neighborhood to a mixed income, mixed use community as a result of the Federal Choice Neighborhoods Grant that we won here in our city. It'll be about $200 to $300 million project. So there's just a lot of really good things going on right now. There's $11 billion of capital construction going on in our city. So we're kind of going through a renaissance, if you will, and it's partnerships that are making it happen. And here's another example of a great partnership that we're at here today in St. Matthews. St. Matthews has always been close in my heart. I went to school just right over the block there at Trinity High School, so I've been in and out of St. Matthews my entire life. And we've witnessed these fine gentlemen. You guys have always had a strong council and great mayors here in St. Matthews, just kind of taking care of business in a really responsible way. That's why I'm a little surprised, Mayor, that the budget on this project has grown from $3.5 million to, we might need to talk about that a little bit. Oh, so look at them. They're all going like this here right now. Okay. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. So congratulations on that. We're happy to be part of it. You know, and we were in for $1 million on $3.5 million. I'm just glad that you didn't ask us to put that up proportionally when you did that. That's right. No, the handshake's a good deal with these guys, and I appreciate that very much because it really comes in handy for us because, as the mayor said, you know, this is the busiest library that we have in our whole system here, which is really pretty amazing when you think about how many people are going in and out of that library every day. One of them is a library power user, and that happens to be my wife, Alex. She is a voracious reader and consumer of books on tape. And so she shares with me all of her knowledge every night, and then I try to put it to good use for the goodwill of the citizens of Louisville every day. And that costs $1 million. That's right. That's a great investment, though, is the way I look at it. No, so it's just great for us. I mean, because we're really having a huge expansion of our libraries as well in the city. You know, our first city value is lifelong learning. So in the first 4 years of our administration, it was primarily the recession. We were able to do one capital project, and I wanted it to be a symbol of lifelong learning. So it was the Southwest Regional Library. Many of you all have been there, which is beautiful. And then that was followed by the South Central Regional Library that we opened up several months ago, which is also beautiful, both inside and outside. And then a month before last, we announced the Northeast Regional Library in Linden. So with that, you know, we're completing the library's master plan for our regional libraries, which is a big deal for a city, and obviously very important to not just learning for our kids, but entrepreneurship. These are job centers. These are community meeting spaces as well. So when St. Matthew's came and said, here's the vision, you know, we didn't need to go to any committee meeting to make that happen. That's like, this is going to be a great, great deal for our city. So the city of Louisville, you all, we just think this is a really wise investment for us to keep investing in our state-of-the-art public libraries. Now, the biggest issue we were concerned about here was the ambassadors in the library, Max, Louise, and Elsa. I understand that they will be fine during the transition. We had to get that taken care of first. And for those of you all that don't know this, Max is a hamster, Louise and Elsa are gerbils, and they are incredibly popular with the young patrons that come through here. So we had to take care of first things first and make sure that they're fine. We're going to try to keep the libraries open as much as we possibly can. And if there's any issues, the staff here has guaranteed and assured me that Max, Louise, and Elsa will be taken care of if we can't have the doors open for any reason. So that's extraordinarily significant. It's part of the Compassionate City initiative that we've got going on. Okay. I also want to recognize Dustin Strong. Dustin was a family friend. His dad, Bob, and I were friends for a long time. And so I know he's a lot of good thoughts for Dustin. He loved the library. And he was just a great young man. So when we dedicate this library, let's make sure to remember Dustin when we'll do that as well. And then I want to thank my partners on the Metro Council as well. We can't do anything without each other. Bill Hollander, great councilman, he said he wanted me to express his apologies that he could not be here today. Kyle Etheridge from his office is here, but Bill's done a great job for the city. Councilwoman Leet is here as well, representing the council. We appreciate that, and you know, we realize that we've got to work together to get things done here for our city. So when you see a council person, thank them for your service, if you would. So once again, Mayor Tonini, thank you, and to the entire council here. We are blessed in Louisville to have an outstanding library director. Jim Blanton joined us now 2-3 years ago. When we were searching for a new library director, we wanted somebody that was really thinking 20, 50 years into the future that could kind of delight us with the creativity that he or she would have. And Jim has answered that bell many times for us, and we're very appreciative of your good service. So please welcome Jim Blanton.
Well, I just have to say it is absolutely true what Mayor Tonini said. I came out here for a community meet and greet shortly after I got here. I mean, it was literally like a week or two at the most I had been on board, and was having a great time meeting the folks. And then he came up and said, "Hey, how would you like to expand and redo the library?" And I was like, "Okay, yeah, let's do that." Because this really is truly a phenomenal building and staff, and I know you know that they have made a lot of work in this space over the years. It's a very busy building. And you know that the community loves the library. And libraries are meant to be places that inspire us. They inspire us to learn, to interact with each other, and to grow as human beings. They're catalysts for creating community, and they are neighborhood anchors that provide a safe and welcoming space for lifelong learning, and the free exchange of ideas is valued and, most importantly, achievable. And if you've ever been to this branch on Storytime Day, as I have many times, you can see, hear, and feel how this community loves the library. The room is always filled to capacity with young minds eager to learn and be inspired. It's filled with parents, grandparents, aunts, and uncles wanting to instill in those young minds a value and love of reading. And now with this expansion project, we're going to be able to fully provide a remarkable space to engage, inspire, and educate those young minds. In addition to having a room that's big enough to accommodate our story times, we're also going to have a first-class children's library, a smaller children's reading room, and one of the things I'm most excited about, an LFPL first, we're going to have an outdoor children's area so families can go outside on a beautiful sunny day like today and read a book together. The larger meeting room also means more people will be able to attend the outstanding adult programming the library provides, and outside groups, which I know are always looking for meeting space, will be able to use it as well. And we know that by inspiring an active learning community in Louisville, we help to build that which we all want, an engaged and engaging citizenry, vital and vibrant neighborhoods, and sustainable economic success. And this new library will do just that. From the new grand entrance to a large open interior filled with natural light, which you can see in some of the designs over there, to dedicated spaces for teens and children, this facility will inspire. I would like to thank Mayor Tonini and the City of St. Matthews for taking the lead on the project, Mayor Fisher and Metro Council for making it happen as well, our exciting design team at Studio Kramer, our construction manager, Sullivan Kozart, for making it all come together, and most importantly, our library staff who really do amazing work each and every day, which I know you all know, in providing world-class service to this community. Thank you all, and I cannot wait to see this library come online. It's going to be so exciting. Thank you.
Toss some dirt. 3. 1, 2, 3.